Sup, y'all? It's me, it's your boy Asmongold, and today I'm going to talk to you guys about something that's been kind of bothering me recently, and I just kind of want to get my opinion out there about it because I think it really needs to be talked about, and I haven't really seen a lot of people talking about this, and that is websites and content creators in general deleting comments or not allowing comments to, I guess, appear under their articles or videos, okay? And I'm doing this video because somebody sent me a PM on YouTube, and they said, Asmongold, you got a lot of negative feedback. People are pissed the fuck off about your ninja looting guide video, and you guys probably know that if you've seen it. People were really mad, and so they asked me, they're like, "Are you going to delete any of the comments that are saying bad stuff about you?" Because these guys are really upset, and it kind of surprised me that somebody would ask me that, and it made me think, is this common enough to where people should expect this? And I don't really know if we're quite there yet, but it's a bit of a problem that we're even going in that direction. And I'm going to tell you guys why. Now, the first thing is that I do delete two types of comments. I delete spam and self-promotion. It's very simple. Other than that, it's probably not going to get deleted. Now, there are some exceptions, guys. Now, there is one guy, his name was Prime Ranger, I believe, and he did a list of numbers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all the way down to 10,000. And he said, find the missing prime number. I didn't want to put you guys through this. Now, I know some people who play WoW are OCD, and so I did not want to put you guys through that, and hopefully you appreciate that. But other than that, other than a couple of really ridiculous things, I do not delete comments ever. And so we're going to talk about a couple of different reasons why I think that websites are deleting comments, and this could be like kind of some tinfoil hat shit, but I don't really think that it is. Now, the first main reason, which I think is the most business sense and most realistic reason that can be, I guess, defined and defended the best, is that advertisers are less likely to advertise on websites where they see a lot of racist or sexist stuff on there, and that's where a lot of comments, that's where a lot of that stuff comes from, is from the comments. Now, I know that that word has been watered down a lot recently, and we're not going to get into a lot of political shit here because, I mean, this is a gaming channel. This is not about, just like my opinions on the world here. But the point here is that I don't really think a lot of companies are going to want to advertise on a website that has a bunch of sexist, racist, and like just all the other ist things that people don't really like to that are politically incorrect. And so they don't want to advertise on there because it will associate their brand and their product subconsciously or even directly if it gets brought to attention with those different opinions. And so that's kind of a problem too. And so it makes websites less I guess, like, what's the word for it? I guess, like, appealing for these different companies to want to advertise on when they have that bad stuff on there. Now, websites do a lot of things to kind of counteract that, and of course, you guys have probably seen that a lot. But what it really comes down to is that, as I said before, advertisers just don't really want to have their brand or their company associated with that. Companies have a very delicate political image. If you guys remember in Hobby Lobby, I think that they didn't want to fund some form of birth control on their healthcare formulary, and so people were really pissed off about this because Hobby Lobby is a super Christian company. It's a family-held company, and so it went to, I think, the Supreme Court or something like that. And so this kind of, it puts them in the spotlight, and a negative spotlight in a lot of people's minds, and maybe a positive spotlight in other people's. But usually whenever you polarize people one way or the other, you lose out in the long run. And it's the same thing what happened with Chick-fil-A. It was some kind of gay thing. I don't remember what it was. And there are a lot of people who are like, oh, we're going to go to Chick-fil-A every week now because they hate gay people. And that wasn't even really true. It was just like the executives, I think, that didn't, there were some executives who were homophobic, or I don't really remember the details. It was kind of a while ago. But what it comes down to is that they held politically incorrect opinions, and because of that, a lot of people were polarized against eating chicken sandwiches. Okay, and what the fuck is Chick-fil-A there for? Why is it a company? It is a company to sell chicken sandwiches. It's not a company to promote their religious beliefs. And I guess, I mean, for some probably crazy people it might be. But the reason that they have a building there is because people give them money for their chicken sandwiches, not their religious beliefs. They don't have a collection plate going around at Chick-fil-A, or at least I don't think so. I've only been there like twice. But the point here is that companies don't want to be associated with websites that have any of that shit on there. And so I can see that is a business sense reason for doing it. And it also makes you feel, I guess, like makes you seem a little bit more professional because I remember like PewDiePie recently deleted, or not deleted again, disabled comments on all of his videos, and PewDiePie's got like 30 million subscribers or something like that. It's a big number, okay? It's a big number. And so I'm not really surprised because he's getting tons of comments, and he's getting tons of spam and self-promotion, like things like, oh, how to make $600 in a day working from home. Just install this keylogger onto your computer and let us do the work for you. And so he obviously doesn't want to have that on his videos because it looks bad. And also he's like trying to appear more professional. That's what I would assume. And I don't really know. I've never talked to him, but that's kind of what I would assume. And so he's getting a lot more comments than I am, and so people can still, I guess, like send him messages. But if he's like me and gets like 1 to 2 messages a day, well, that means he's getting about 1 to 2,000 messages a day, and so obviously he can't really respond to everything. And so the point is that if you delete all comments, it's kind of just like a blanket over the whole problem, and then you don't really have any spam or self-promotion, but you don't have anything at all. Now, websites also like to have comments because it, of course, gives users a way to engage with the website and be engaged with the website. So, like if I make a comment on like Reddit or something like that, I'm going to check the next day to see how the comment did. You know, that people upvote the comment, that people downvote the comment, that people respond to me, etc., etc. And so it gives people a way to kind of, I guess, like get engaged with the website, and that's a really big deal with websites. Like websites really want to have user engagement, and so that's one of the main reasons I think that I guess like the most I guess like positive reason. And so now we're going to talk about, I guess, what some of the other websites, why they're doing it. I think that whenever you delete comments, whenever you remove somebody's ability to contest your opinion, you remove somebody's ability for discourse, what you are doing is you're making it a whole lot easier to push any sort of agenda or narrative that you want, because nobody can actively say. It's like, how many times, guys, how many times have you read an article? Stupid as fuck. Everything in the article is just retarded. And you go down to the comment section, the top rated comment is exactly what you were thinking. And you say, thank God I'm not taking crazy pills. It's the author that's taking crazy pills. And so whenever you have something like that, it kind of discredits the author and makes more people not willing to believe, I guess, like what the person has to say. And so the majority of people are usually kind of on the fence about something. It's just like bell curve logic here. And so if you don't have that other voice of reason, or I guess like just like other opinion out there, and you only have your opinion, a lot more people are going to agree with just that one opinion because there's no other counter evidence. It's pretty simple, and there have been tons of psychology studies about this. I don't remember what the name of any of them are, or what the effects, or anything like that is. But rest assured, they're out there. I watched it in psychology class. All right, I just don't remember what the name is. I don't think I did very well in the class, and so I don't even think I knew then. But the point here is that it makes it's really easy for websites to push a certain narrative when you can't. What are you going to do? You're going to send a website a message and say, hey, I don't like your opinion? What are they going to do? Say, oh, thank God you've alerted me at the error of my ways. I'm going to, delete everything that I have that's that way. Good fucking luck having that happen. That's never going to happen. Now, I mean, I guess like a broad example of this is, I guess I'm going to use two different examples so people don't think I'm really picking on anybody here specific. We're going to use the social justice warrior websites and also the conspiracy theory websites. So, Tumblr, Infowars.com, any kind of crazy shit like that. And, on one of them, you'd read, 15 invisible privileges you never even knew you had. And then on the other one, it'd be why Obama is a Muslim, socialist, Kenyan, antichrist, reptilian, overlord, atheist Muslim who's sent to turn America into a communist, socialist nation and turn us into fill in the blank Middle Eastern country. And so on both of those articles, they're pretty far out there on the tail ends of, I guess, like the political spectrum here. And so the more people that are kind of on the edge there, and that don't have really a way to kind of contest this or see counter evidence for this article, would be thinking, maybe Obama's from the moon, maybe he's from the center of the earth, where all the other reptilian overlords are. And because they don't have that comment section at the bottom that says, there are not reptiles that live in the middle of the fucking earth. Get real. This is why I'm a scientist, and here are some scientific articles of why lizards don't live in the sun, okay? Or lizards don't live in the core of the earth, which is also pretty hot. similar to the sun, which is what I was thinking in my head. But either way, so there's a lot of different reasons why deleting comments gives websites pretty much a a direct track, a main line into people's opinions, because they don't really have any other ways to see active counter evidence for it. And so another thing that websites are doing is that they're allowing, they're not allowing, they're not allowing, they're requiring different people to register with a social media account, most often Facebook. And so if I'm registering with my real name or something like that, I will probably at least self-censor myself to a small extent. Now, a lot of other people, if like, let's say you're posting an opinion about, as I said before, I'm not going to really get into, who's right and who's wrong here, but about the Ferguson thing. And so you post an opinion and you say that, oh, the guy was guilty or the guy wasn't guilty. It doesn't really matter which one. Basically, I would say, I don't really, as I said before, I don't really want to get into political, but saying that the guy was guilty and it should have happened was more politically incorrect than saying that he was innocent. Okay, just as a general rule for what I saw on mainstream media and on different websites. Now, this could be different for you, but as I said before, I don't really want to get into this too much. It's just a side. And so I guess like a website that has an opinion on why this is a terrible thing and why it's turning into a police state and everything else like that people always hear, like police militarization and all that other stuff, and then saying that it's like a huge race issue and all that other stuff. If somebody goes and they comment and they say, hey, maybe it's not because of these other reasons, then that person is going to, I guess, like have a higher chance of having certain people from their Facebook page not like them or think that they're politically incorrect or unfriend them or not want to talk to them anymore because they're I guess like supporting an opinion that is not, I guess, like popular or that other people don't really want to hear. And so whenever you have that happen, so if you're one of those like super progressive websites or something like that, like a social justice website, deleting or making users have to register with a social media account is fucking huge, because it cuts down on a lot of the super conservative opinions that people have, and because they don't really want to have that associated with their real name. I've heard of people like calling the people's employers and having the person fired for being racist on the internet. I don't really know the details on that or if that's even really true. It's hard to know for sure. Most of the time, I think it's probably people just pretending like they're Batman. But the point here is that obviously it has more ramifications, and so if you have your real name tied to something, you will effectively self-censor yourself more than if you don't. Like if it was just like Zach12345, I'd probably just say whatever the fuck I wanted, right? But if I had my real name attached to it, or even Asmongold attached to it, because I have a certain, not really persona, I guess, but I don't really want to say something really, really stupid. And it's like, guys, I mean, you guys know, sometimes you're saying something stupid, whenever you're saying it that it's stupid, and you just say it anyway, okay? But whenever I'm posting as Asmongold, on my accounts like that, I don't want to represent myself in a bad way. And so I will try and make something, I'll try and not look like a complete fucking jackass whenever I post as Asmongold or something like that on YouTube, Facebook, Reddit, etc. So the point here is that the websites are effectively crowdsourcing astroturfing. That's the way I like to look at it. And we'll talk about astroturfing next. Astroturfing is when websites effectively remove certain, I guess, like type of opinions from their website in order to make it seem like the majority of the people think a certain thing, where in actuality they don't. And so, like, let's say I make a video, why warriors are the greatest class in the world, and some hunter says, no, they're fucking not, because hunters can do everything that warriors can, at range. And that's kind of sucks, by the way. But the point is that, obviously, so I'll delete that comment, I'll read that, I'll be like, fuck that shit, I hate this guy. Delete his comment and ban him from my channel. So he is silenced. Okay, he can't message anything, say anything bad about me or my ideas again. And so somebody else says, hey, Asmongold, I watch this video every day before I get on the WoW. It gets me pumped up to play my fucking warrior. Thank you so much. I donated $5 to your Taco Bell fund. You're the messiah of the 21st generation. I'm like, hey, this guy is really smart. This guy is a really smart guy. I'm gonna make this the top comment. And so, I mean, that's fucking ridiculous, and it's disingenuous, and it's effectively lying. Okay, it's not directly lying, but it's effectively lying. And the public opinion really matters. And so I know that people think that, oh, comments don't change my opinion. I'll just think whatever I want regardless. Well, that's great. You're a free thinker and you're outside the system. Go back to your bomb shelter and shut the fuck up. But for the majority of people, comments and people kind of base their opinions around the opinions of others, and they kind of bounce it off there and say, hey, well, this is what this person thinks, and they kind of integrate that into their own personal philosophy, and it's a growing experience. And whenever you only have things growing one way, it's a lot easier, as I said, to push an agenda. And so that's, as I said before, like that's a big deal. And so that's how they do it with astroturfing, which is again deleting certain comments or basically making it look like the feedback or the reaction that you're getting is all positive or all in one direction. And so people delete comments, and this happens all the time, but it's kind of hard to track because, of course, websites are pretty good at covering your tracks here. Now, I kind of didn't want to make this video too long. Let me see how long it is. Oh, well, that's too bad. It's already way too long. But the point is, guys, I hope that you guys feel the same way as I do. I'm kind of always been like a big proponent of free speech. I pretty much just say whatever the fuck I want on this channel, outside of things that I think would get me in trouble with YouTube. But other than that, I'll say pretty much whatever I want. And hopefully I want other people to feel the same way. And the more that this happens, it can be used in a very bad way. And I don't really want to see that happen. And so if you see a content creator on here on YouTube, or somebody else, who makes videos, or just a website who writes articles in general, doing this, I would definitely try and cause some shit about it, because it is the first step to having things basically turn into absolute complete propaganda and not have to matter at all about, I guess, like facts, but it's just opinions being pushed forward, narratives, agendas, everything else you can think of, and you do not want to have that happen. And also, it just sucks. For me, like I get a lot of positive feedback from you guys. Thank you. I get a lot of negative, constructive criticism. And that honestly is even more important to me than the positive feedback. And I'm actually redoing this video. I actually did this video a couple days ago, and I was going to release it, but then I didn't. And the reason I'm redoing it is that I watched it and I said, this is not, like, people have said bad things about, like I said, like, oh, on the video, it was just kind of a little bit too long, and there wasn't really a lot of point to a lot of what I was saying. And so I figured I'm going to cut this down. And honestly, I don't even know if I did cut it down, but I think I added in some things that I didn't have in the first cut. But the point here is that, that negative constructive criticism helps me out a lot, and I appreciate it all the time. And so that's great. And whenever people leave me, like, just comment, gay, or, anything like that, I like to read those out to my friends whenever I have people over. I'm out. I can read it off like my AskFM page or off my phone, or I just show it to my mom and be like, hey, look at, this is what I do all day. I read these comments, and it's funny for everybody. So I try and make the most out of it, no matter what it is. But the point is, a lot of people, I think that should be the case, and I don't want to see that go away. I really don't. I think it's very important, and hopefully you guys feel the same way. So if you guys see people doing it, say, hey. Don't do that. I don't know. I don't know what you'd say, honestly. I don't know what you say. I guess it depends on who it is. But that's what I would say. Point being, just don't let it happen. Thanks for watching, and like, comment, subscribe.